Everyone is talking about Phil Mickelson suing Brian Rolapp for $12 million in back pay. The internet is full of stories about his son banning him from seeing his grandchildren. It sounds like the biggest personal and financial explosion in golf history. But if you look at the actual legal files, none of that is true. There is no $12 million back pay lawsuit. There is no family ban. The real story is actually much darker for the PGA Tour. Mickelson is trapped in a massive legal war that could change how professional golf operates forever. He is not just fighting for money. He is fighting for his entire legacy. Right now, the golf legend is sitting on the outside looking in. He knows the exact rules the front office wrote to keep him out. These rules were designed to punish anyone who walked away. The boardrooms are quiet, but the panic is real. They know exactly what is coming next. The fake rumors hide a much bigger problem. But Mickelson has a secret weapon that the PGA Tour bosses are terrified of. It is a legal move that could break the monopoly completely. Every single fan needs to understand the true scale of this battle. The clock is ticking, and the next move will shock everyone. This hidden legal trap could force Mickelson to lose everything he built over 30 years. I honestly think the current leadership is playing a dangerous game by ignoring this threat, and I want to know if you agree with me. Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss the real truth behind golf's biggest drama. That hidden trap is a legal maneuver the golf world is only just starting to understand. Mickelson and his camp are not just fighting a simple contract dispute. They are locked in a battle that could permanently alter professional sports. The establishment responded to this threat by slapping the players with massive fines and indefinite suspensions. They tried to freeze the players out completely. Total isolation. But the legal system works slower than a 3-foot putt on a wet green. The case dragged on, creating a massive cloud of uncertainty over every single tournament. The legal freeze kept Mickelson away from the main tour, but it also hid a much darker financial penalty waiting in the shadows. Quietly, the reality on the ground shifted. While Mickelson was hitting balls in the Arizona heat, the rest of the tour was playing in Scotland and across the country. The physical distance was obvious, but the professional distance was worse. In the caddy yard, the whispers grew louder each week. Nobody knew the exact terms of the secret legal documents being filed. Nobody knew what the final penalty would actually look like. The remaining players avoided the topic, but the caddies talked. They talked about a hidden clause the establishment was using to lock the door from the inside. These whispers pointed to a hidden financial penalty so severe that it could erase decades of career earnings. The psychological warfare was relentless. The front office did not just want to suspend the players. They wanted to break their spirit. Executives started leaking stories to the press about the defectors' regret. They painted Mickelson and the others as greedy mercenaries who abandoned their loyal fans. The public pressure campaign was ruthless and highly effective. It isolated the players and turned golf media against them. Mickelson found himself fighting a two-front war. He was losing cash in the courts while losing the PR battle at the exact same time. While the public relations war raged on, a quieter, more devastating legal maneuver was being finalized in the shadows. This financial bleed was intentional. It was designed to force a surrender before the legal battle reached the courtroom. Every time the lawyers filed a new motion, the stakes got higher. The defectors needed a quick settlement to stop the bleeding. Mickelson tried to use his influence to force a compromise. He believed his status as a 6-time major champion would give him the upper hand. That assumption was a fatal miscalculation. The leadership did not care about past glory. They only cared about protecting the current product. That financial trap was finally complete, but the real nightmare began when the true architect of this exile stepped into the light. Behind closed doors, the true architect changed the rules of engagement. He stopped treating the legal fight as a simple problem. Instead, he treated it as a hostile takeover attempt that needed to be crushed. The organization hired crisis managers to control the narrative. They knew the defectors could not survive a multi-year legal battle without their main income. The mystery opponent was not just a group of angry board members. It was a single, calculated mind that understood how to apply pressure. One calculated mind wanted more than a legal win. It wanted to rewrite professional golf. Every fan knows golf is a game of inches. But this battle was being fought in the fine print. The architect knew Mickelson was a master of the recovery shot. He knew Lefty could always find a way out of the trees. So the plan was simple. Do not let him get into the trees. Build a wall so high that no clever shot could clear it. The organization started preparing for a long, brutal war of attrition. They tightened security, they restricted access, they made sure every door back to the tour was bolted shut. Just as Mickelson prepared to force a settlement, new rules made the old penalties look mild. Tension across golf reached a boiling point. Fans demanded answers. Why was the greatest short game artist of his generation kept in the dark? Why were the details of the legal settlement hidden behind closed doors? The establishment claimed it was for legal reasons, but the golf community knew better. They knew when the tour hid details, the details were ugly. They knew the architect was building a trap so complex that even the best lawyers could not find the exit. What was being built behind closed doors was about to shock the entire golf world. I truly believe this new leadership is drawing a line in the sand that will define the next decade of golf, and I want your take. Subscribe now so you can follow every twist and turn in this battle. The whispers in the caddy yard finally turned into undeniable facts. The new rules were no longer rumor. They were a document on a desk, waiting to be signed. The players realized the old ways were dead. The era of simple fines was over. The era of total control had begun. Mickelson looked at the new documents and realized the game had changed. He was no longer just fighting for a spot in a tournament. He was fighting for the right to exist in the sport he helped popularize. Those rules were brutal, but the real shock came when Mickelson realized who held the pen. The name on that document changed everything. The architect of this exile was finally stepping out of the shadows. This was not just a faceless board member. This was the new boss, the man hired to clean up the mess and protect the brand. He understood Mickelson was the ultimate wild card. Lefty could charm his way out of any situation. He could talk his way back into favor with fans and media. The new boss knew charm would not work on him. He was building a system based on cold math. There was no room for sentimentality. There was no room for past glory. There was only the bottom line. His cold calculation ignored the human toll this war was taking on Mickelson's family. This brings us to the most vicious lie online. The rumors about his son banning him from seeing his grandchildren are false. There is no family estrangement. There is no bitter feud keeping him from his own blood. The truth is more grounded and painful. Mickelson recently stepped away from a major championship, not because of a legal defeat, not because of a fight with the tour. He cited personal health reasons involving his family. At 54, the physical toll of the game is catching up to him. The endless travel, the pressure, the constant scrutiny. It takes a heavy toll on body and mind. Aging, not Family Feud, was forcing choices far bigger than golf. When a man his age steps away for family health reasons, it puts everything into perspective. The legal battles, the millions of dollars, the public scrutiny. None of it matters when a loved one is sick. Tabloid stories try to paint him as a villain who abandoned his family for money. The reality is that he is a grandfather prioritizing his family's health over a golf tournament. This humanizes him in a way the tour's PR machine cannot control. Fans respect loyalty. They respect family. When they see Mickelson choosing family over a golf ball, it changes the narrative. It makes the tour's penalties look crueler. Public sympathy was exactly what the tour feared, and it pushed them to speed up the legal fight. Faster legal action was a response to this growing sympathy. The new boss knew if Mickelson became a sympathetic figure, the legal war would become a PR nightmare. They needed to end it quickly. They needed to force a settlement before fans turned against the tour's strict policies. But forcing a settlement meant giving up control. It meant making compromises. The new boss hated compromises. He wanted total victory. He wanted surrender. He wanted Mickelson to sign a document saying he would never challenge the tour's authority again. Total surrender was the trigger that pushed the battle into uncharted territory. This demand for total surrender led to the biggest payoff of the saga. The terms of the return program are now public, and they are as brutal as the caddy yard whispers suggested. The new boss, Brian Rolapp, created a returning member program that is a financial and competitive death trap. If Mickelson wants to come back, he has to accept a heavy fine. But the fine is just the beginning. He has to give up his equity in the tour. He has to start at the bottom of the priority list for entries. He would have to rely on sponsor exemptions just to play. The man who won 6 major championships would have to beg for a tee time. Rolapp's rules proved the tour wanted to erase his competitive relevance, not merely punish him. This is the reason the $12 million back pay lawsuit is a fake story. The real fight is about equity. The real fight is about control. The antitrust lawsuit from 2022 was never about unpaid wages. It was about monopoly. Mickelson and the other defectors argued the tour illegally blocked them from earning a living. The tour responded by stripping away their benefits. The financial bleed was real, but it was not a back pay issue. It was a structural lockout. Brian Rolapp used this lockout to protect players from the defectors. He made it clear anyone who leaves will face consequences. Understanding this lockout reveals the true motive behind the tour's aggressive legal strategy. The true motive is simple: protect the asset. The players are the asset. The sponsors are the asset. The fans are the asset. Mickelson, to the leadership, is a liability. He is a reminder of the division that almost destroyed the sport. By making the return program harsh, Rolapp is sending a message to every player on tour. Do not leave. If you leave, you will lose everything. You will lose your equity. You will lose your status. You will lose your legacy. It is a warning shot fired at the locker room. A warning shot to the locker room accidentally created a legal vulnerability. That legal vulnerability is the antitrust case. By treating the defectors as liabilities and blocking their return, the tour is walking a fine legal line. The courts are watching. Judges are weighing whether this returning member program is a fair policy or an illegal restraint of trade. If the courts decide it is illegal, the foundation of the tour's control could collapse. Rolapp knows this. That is why he is pushing hard for a quiet settlement. He knows a public court battle could expose the tour's workings. It could reveal financial structures sponsors do not want to see. Fear of a public court battle is the only reason the tour is considering settlement. Mickelson knows this too. He is not just sitting in Arizona hitting balls. He is working with his legal team to exploit this vulnerability. Rolapp is under pressure from sponsors. They want the drama gone. Fans want the best players competing. Mickelson is using this leverage to force a better deal. He is not looking for a back pay check. He is looking for a way to restore his competitive status without giving up equity. Leverage is the reason a final settlement has not been reached yet. This standoff is reaching its final phase. The clock is ticking for both sides. Rolapp needs to secure the future of the tour before the next major. Mickelson needs to secure his legacy before his body gives out. The antitrust case is the sword hanging over both men. If it goes to court, both sides could lose. The tour could lose its monopoly. Mickelson could lose his chance to play on the main stage again. The smart money says they will settle, but the terms will define the next era of golf. Settlement terms will either restore Mickelson's legacy or lock him out forever. The final terms will dictate the future of the sport. If the tour gives in to Mickelson's demands, it weakens Rolapp's authority. It shows defectors can win. It opens the door for more players to demand better deals. If the tour holds the line and forces Mickelson to accept the penalties, it solidifies Rolapp's control. It creates fear in the locker room. It ensures no player will challenge the tour's authority again. The stakes could not be higher. This is not just about one golfer. This is about the soul of golf. Victory for either side will permanently change the power balance in golf. Mickelson is a man who always played the ball as it lies. He has never feared a difficult shot. But this legal battle is a shot he cannot see. He cannot use his short game to save himself. He cannot use charm to talk his way out. He has to rely on lawyers, leverage, and patience. It is a different game. It requires a different toughness. The mental toll is huge. The physical toll is real. But he is still in the fight. He is still looking for a way to clear the trees. Refusal to quit is keeping his dream of a final major alive. The dream of a final major is what keeps him going. It keeps him practicing in Arizona heat and fighting in court. He knows the window is closing. He is 54. Every year that passes is a year he will never get back. Rolapp knows this too. He is using the clock as a weapon. He is waiting for Mickelson to realize time is running out. He is waiting for Mickelson to accept penalties just to play one last time. But Mickelson is not ready to surrender. He is waiting for the right moment to strike. Neither side is willing to putt for a tie. The final holes of this legal battle will be played in boardrooms and courtrooms. Fans will not see the putts. They will only see the result. They will either see Mickelson walk onto the first tee at a major or see him fade into retirement. The fake stories about $12 million and banned grandchildren are noise. They are distractions. The real story is a battle for the soul of golf. Old guard versus new leadership. Loyalty versus leverage. When the final putt drops, golf will never look the same. The golf world is waiting. Sponsors are waiting. Players are waiting. Rolapp is sitting in his office, looking at documents. Mickelson is sitting at home, looking at his family. Both men know the end is near. Both men know the final decision will change everything. The $12 million lawsuit was a myth. The family estrangement was a lie. But the legal war, the financial trap, and the battle for control are very real. The final chapter is about to begin. Legacy, not money, will decide who blinks first.